Auburn at 7.5. Man, that is. I'll tell you this, Will. If it was Auburn at 6.5, I'm hammering the over. Like I'm hammering it. If it's Auburn at 8.5, I'm hammering the under. 7.5 is why Vegas makes their money because this is to me, this is a tricky spot. Obviously, man, you know a lot about this team. You've kept up a lot with what they've been going on. Where do you sit with this Auburn team? Because to me, it is 7.5 is just a weird betting line coming into a season in terms of win totals.
It is, and I'm thinking very hard about which side to take on this because the last 2 years, really the last 3 years, some weird things have happened to cause me to be wrong on my prediction. Um, what was it? 2021. I had over, I think it was 7.5 in 2021. Auburn starts off the year 6-2 and then loses 5 straight in this season. And then what was it 2 years ago? Auburn got off to a good start with 3-0 or 4-0 and fell apart. But this year has to be different for Auburn. I talked about it last week with Hugh Freeze. It has to be different. We've talked about it a ton. You feel like it's the quarterback play this year. I don't. I disagree with that.
To an extent, it is.
It is to an extent. It's the most important position in the game, maybe in all of sports, most important single position. But this team this offense that's built around Jackson Arnold is on paper the best offense that Hugh Freeze has had, better than the last 2 offenses that were built around Peyton Thorne. And for me, it starts up front. I think Auburn finally, I could feel like I could say this more confidently than I can in the last probably 6 or 7 years that Auburn upgraded on the offensive line. They go out and get Xavier Chaplin and Mason Murphy to play the tackle positions. Chaplin from Virginia Tech, Murphy from USC. Those guys should come in and be starters right away. If they're not, Auburn's going to have huge problems on the offensive line, which is going to cause everything else to break down. Jackson Arnold, he's the quarterback. Everybody's seen the price tag on Jackson Arnold, and he's the most talented quarterback that Auburn has in the room. He's going to be the starter. We talked a lot about his year last year at Oklahoma, and you and I both at least feel like a lot of that blame can't be placed on him. I mean, his offensive line just was injured in and out, just kind of a disaster.
It was a disaster. It was a worst case scenario for that Oklahoma offense in terms of health.
Yeah. So he's going to come in and be the starter for Auburn. The offensive line should be good. Connor Liu, Pro Football Focus graded him, I believe, as the 3rd, maybe the 4th best returning center in the country. So Auburn's got to find some guards, and that's a good problem to have. If you need offensive linemen and you've got your tackles and your center sorted, you feel good about trying to find some guards. You look out at wide receiver. Man, Auburn brought in 2 really good ones out of the transfer portal. Eric Singleton Jr. from Georgia Tech, Horatio Fields from Wake Forest. And I've been really cool on Horatio Fields. I'm like, what? A Wake Forest wide receiver? Did Wake Forest even pass for any yards last year? Did they throw for any touchdowns last year?
What did Wake Forest do? I guess you had to figure that on Wednesday.
Right. But Horatio Fields been really good in the spring. A lot of excitement around him. And you throw in Cam Coleman in the mix. You've got 3 really good wide receivers. Got Perry Thompson coming back, who should be getting more catches for Auburn. And it's like you've said, if Jackson Arnold can just kind of play point guard, then the Auburn offense should be better. Just don't throw the ball away on 4th down, and you'll be better than the last one. Looking on the defensive side, coming in the portal, Chris Murray coming in off the edge. Auburn needed a body at edge, and Chris Murray coming from Sam Houston. A lot of good reports from him coming out of spring. Your guy at LSU, Xavier Atkins, coming in at linebacker. Auburn needed some bodies at linebacker. The big one in the secondary, Ryan Strader. Auburn needed a corner. The reports coming back from him in the spring have not been great, but He's really athletic, was really good at Miami, Ohio, but again, this is a huge step up from the MAC to the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know though, because I'm worried about the mindset. I said that on Wednesday. I'm worried about the mindset at the top of the program. Can Hugh Freeze get it done? I think from day one, talking with Auburn fans, that's kind of been the question. Can Hugh Freeze get the job done? And the job is compete for a national title, compete for the SEC championship.
Yeah.
Those go hand in hand this day and age. Certainly, it's been that way for the last 20 years. Can Hugh Freeze do it? And I don't think there was much question that Hugh Freeze would get the talent back to where it needs to be, but was it going to get the wins? He's got to this year.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I'll be a homer. I'll take the over. I think Auburn can get to 8 wins.
Yeah, Maxwell, don't remind Will. According to Freeze, the job is a bowl game. I want you to answer this question, but I do want to give my take real quick. So Auburn over under 7.5 wins. You talked about it. This is such a weird number to kind of sit on when you look at this. The one thing I do like about Auburn, and you've been kind of very critical of, is the offensive line play. If that to me, and I love Clayton's comment right there. That's great. The the Auburn offensive line has to be better. If it is better, then Jackson Arnold will be better. I see a lot of people in the comments talking about it was overhyped. He wasn't that great. The circumstances dictated a lot for him. And like, look, there's stuff that was on his shoulders as well. The picks, the turnovers, I saw someone said that's all that was on him last year at Oklahoma. You still can't make bad decisions even when you don't have what you need. That's the mental fortitude of playing one of the more important positions in all the sports. That being said, if the environment around Jackson Arnold is as good as Hugh Freeze wants it to be, I'll take the over. But man, I'll side with you, man. I'm taking the over. I think Auburn can get to 8 wins, an 8-4 season. An 8-4 season, a bowl game win gets you 9-4, and will truthfully another top 8 recruiting class, another good portal class, and the pressure's on to get a double-digit wins. I mean, the pressure's on to make a playoff after that. So. But I do want you to answer this question real quick. So, how many games till Deuce plays? Sid Irish.
I think the earliest at Deuce night, may not be fair to
meaningful because garbage time, because he can play up to 4 games without losing his eligibility.
Right. I'll say like legitimate minutes. 2026. I do. There's a lot of hype around Deuce, of course, being a 5-star quarterback. If Deuce plays this year, Auburn's in trouble. I think. I think things have gone really bad, really poorly. If
it's not an indictment on him, it's just bad evaluation from. Because they're also probably saying Ashton Daniels is completely unusable from a quarterback standpoint as well in that situation. Center says Deuce is a dude. I think 8-4 should be the ceiling if Jackson Arnold is your quarterback, and I see obviously Sooner Cowboys in there. I understand it was a bad season in Norman, and we'll talk about Oklahoma obviously here later in the show. That is all.
Before we wrap up, just want to talk about the schedule.
Go ahead, yeah.
And probably the reason Auburn get to 8 wins, for what is not normal for Auburn fans, this is the SEC schedule is nice to Auburn. Seems like for the first time ever the last 2 years it's been nice. Missouri's in there, Arkansas, Kentucky, Vanderbilt. Got to win those 4 games, and you just got to find 4 more. You got South Alabama, who was decimated by the portal. You have Ball State, should be a win. You have the FCS Giants that are the Mercer Bears, which is going to be tough the week before the Iron Bowl. That's what, 7 wins, and you're looking for 1 more. And you would think that'd be easy, but the way it's gone the last 4 years for Auburn, it's getting that 8th win is elusive when that seems all Auburn could do was get 8 wins. Now Auburn can't even get that. Going to Oklahoma and going to Texas A&M back to back and to end off September is going to be interesting. And those 2 games both feel like it'd be the result is going to see the 2 programs playing go in opposite directions.
I'll offer this as kind of a further hot take maybe on this. September 20th into the 27th tells you if this team is going to really over exceed expectations. That stretch from October 18th to November 8th is going to tell you if Hugh Freeze is the head coach in 2026. If you lose at Oklahoma and A&M, he's not going to get fired. You still have plenty of runway to be able to do what you need to do. If you don't capitalize on matchups that in the preseason we think are winnable, home against Missouri, at Arkansas, home against Kentucky, at Vanderbilt, if you don't go at least go 3-1 those matchups, I think Hugh Freeze is gone. So that's what I'm saying right there. I think the 20th and 27th, to your point, is saying if you lose those, it's just another kind of mid-year for you. If you lose the other four, 2 of those 4, 3 of those 4, then you're searching for a new head coach, and it's John Summerall time again on the Plains. So
he's smarter than that.